The search for the perfect striker is continuing. Slowly but surely we're making our way through all of the Premier League strikers, and at the moment we have Andy Carroll and Jermaine Defoe. So the first team that we come up with has very low chemistry. I think it was around 67 or so, and he has a few French players and some very fast players such as Aubameyang and Zarate, and Andy Carroll managed to grab the first goal in this game through a really nice header. And then Paul Scholes is played through one-on-one, not somebody who you'd normally see being put in those sort of situations, but he buried it nicely. Now after Andy Carroll breaking out the skills once more, he drills it home near post, which once again I find the most effective shot in this game. Now someone commented on my last episode, which was episode 13 I think, saying that in the first episode of this series I talked about how I didn't actually think near post shots were effective. But I think it's just a great example of how your playstyle changes as you play the game a bit more, and you learn what sort of shots are effective or not. I guess maybe at the beginning of the game I was putting, I don't know, too much power or too little power in my near post shots. I guess I've improved as a player as I've played a bit more FIFA. And so this game ended up as a draw, and it went into a penalty shootout. Now I've had some really rotten luck through penalty shootouts recently, so I was hoping I could have a change of fortunes and put this guy to bed, and thankfully I did just that. Brad Friedel was very good in goal for me. If you watched last episode, you know he hasn't really been that great. However, this guy missed all of his penalties, and it was down to Paul Scholes to bury the shootout, and he did so. So I ended up winning the game 3-3 and 3-0 on penalties. And unfortunately Jermaine Defoe didn't score, so I've replaced him with Luis Suarez. So I have the Liverpool combo up top, keeping in mind that Andy Carroll is on loan from Liverpool at West Ham, and hopefully they should work quite well. Thankfully Luis Suarez is naturally a centre forward, so I didn't need to convert him, and he'll still get 9 chemistry in the formation that I play. And Andy Carroll is played through once again, and he has a really great shot. He's very skillful. I know that might not make a lot of sense, but I guess he was 5-star skills for a little bit in FIFA 12. And he really gets in lots of great positions, and I think he's a very lethal striker. Suarez unfortunately hits the post there, and somehow after a bit of a push, I don't know quite what it was, in the penalty box, Carroll went over and Suarez converted the penalty. Great. And I was 2-0 up in this game, sort of walking out a bit. I mean, the opponent wasn't that great, and Suarez got played through once again and hammers it in near post. That little skill I did with Suarez right before that, by the way, is one of my favourite skills. It's great if you want to get round a player, and even though it might not always work, I tend to find it does, especially if the opponent isn't the best at defending, and if they don't use contain and sort of try and intercept the ball, if that made sense. It probably didn't, so I apologise. But Andy Carroll breaking out some nice dummies, some nice skills, and I just don't know what it is. He's on fire, and if you guys haven't used Andy Carroll in FIFA 13 yet, I definitely recommend him. He's very strong, his shooting's great, so I can't see why not. So I'm sort of coming to the end of this episode now, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Suarez and Carroll are certainly turning out to be quite a partnership, and I ended up winning this game 6-0. So as this guy rage quits in the 70th minute, I'm going to leave you here, and so I can't wait to see you guys next episode as the search for the perfect striker continues. Peace.